Hello, welcome to Kevela's Quest, the Modern Life podcast. I'm Kevin Ejezi. In our last quest, I discussed about meeting women today, what actually works. Now, why I had to reference last quest was because last quest is actually related to today's quest. Last quest was meeting women today, what actually works. Now, in today's quest, the topic I want to talk about that is related to it is what it takes to get versus maintain in sexual relationships. What it takes to get versus maintain in sexual relationships. That's our quest for today. Now, you have now met the lady that you are looking for, the woman of your dreams. And you now know that this is the person that you want. Both of you now know that you want each other as you have met her. And that particular path that you followed worked for you, whether it was social media or through friends and family. But today's quest is talking about what it takes to get versus maintain in sexual relationships. Now you've gotten it, is how to maintain it now. Let's start with a simple truth. What it takes to get a relationship isn't always what it takes to keep one. And nowhere is that more obvious than in sexual dynamics between men and women. We like to think relationships are symmetrical, equal effort, equal reward. But the reality, asymmetry is the rule, not the exception in relationships, especially sexual relationships. You continually strive to accept and reciprocate the energy of this relationship balance. And once we accept that, we can stop being confused and start building relationships that actually work. Now, what do I mean? There are two premises in sexual relationships. And those two premises are, these two premises are foundational ideas to sexual relationships. That's the way all sexual relationships work. And the first one is that women are the gatekeepers of sex. They decide whether to give a man sex or not. While men are the gatekeepers of commitment. A man can decide to commit to you or not commit to you. You can't force it. It's their prerogative. So women are the gatekeepers to sex, and men are the gatekeepers of commitment. And in today's sexual marketplace, sex almost always comes before commitment. Some people push back on that, but let's be honest, it's economically difficult for women to demand commitment first when others are offering sex first without even thinking twice. So why will a man want to be stressed by a woman who is saying that she's not going to offer sex first except he commits, when it's everywhere? Others are offering sex without any commitment. Like any market, you can't charge for what's freely available elsewhere. Now, I want to explain the effort imbalance in this. So what happens when sex comes first? Men face the gatekeeping first. They're the ones who initiate, plan, and pay for dates. They take the risks, lead the seduction, and put in the emotional labor to spark attraction. Women mostly decide whether to allow access or not. Even high-status men, those with looks, fame, and wealth, had to grind for years to become attractive enough to bypass the usual dating process. And women rarely object to that effort. In fact, they expect it. But once sex happens, the power dynamics flips. Before sex, women hold the leverage. After sex, men become the gatekeepers of commitment. Just as women aren't expected to give sex to any man who wants it, men aren't obligated to commit to any woman who asks for commitment. After sex, the effort shifts. Now it's the woman's turn to show she's worth committing to. If a man had to work hard to get her, she should expect to work hard to keep him. Getting and keeping are not the same game. Now, I want you to see the effort flip in this. Here is where a lot of women get blindsided. They expect the man to keep chasing with the same intensity after sex. But that's as unrealistic as expecting a woman to keep putting in the same effort after she's secured commitment. And this is the reason why some women, when you get married to them, they start neglecting their looks. Because they feel that they have gotten what they are looking for. They've gotten that commitment that the man wouldn't have given them before. Now they've gotten it, so they can choose to look anyhow. Wear wrapper at home. Decide not to put makeup and leave their hair anyhow. It's a question of, if I have already gotten sex from you, then why do I need to commit to you? And if I have gotten commitment from you, then why don't I keep gatekeeping sex? People do not care so much for what they already have, because it's human nature. People work harder before they get what they want than after they've gotten it. So if a woman wants a committed relationship with a man that she has already slept with, the burden of effort is now hers. Just like he had to earn sex, she now has to earn commitment. Emotional labor isn't one-sided. We hear a lot about women emotional labor in relationship, supporting their man, maintaining attraction, suppressing their own needs. But what's often ignored is the emotional labor men do before sex. Being charming when he didn't feel like it, planning dates around her preferences, listening to stories that weren't even interesting, stimulating her emotions and excitement just to make her happy and to make himself attractive to her. All of that is emotional labor. And if he didn't do it, he wouldn't have gotten anywhere. No sympathy, no results. So yes, women should expect to do emotional labor after sex, just as men did before it. That's the other side of the coin. No complaints. Now let's look at being offensive versus defensive in this. This isn't about gender, it's about gatekeeping. Before some ladies or some men will come for me, what I'm talking about today is not about gender. It's about gatekeeping, and everybody gatekeep in order to achieve a better negotiation in relationships. But the way this world is built today, women usually give up sex before men will now give commitment. Why? Because more and more women are giving up sex. So it's now left for the man to decide to commit to whoever he feels that he has more advantage to be with. Effort always falls on the person trying to get through the gate. Defense is passive. You say no, you raise your standards, you wait. Offensive is active. You move, you persuade, you earn. The universe leaves clues. The default answer is no. If you want something, you have to do the work. You want the paycheck, do the job. If not, let go of the desire. Otherwise, you end up resentful, or you start feeling entitled. No man is entitled to sex. No woman is entitled to commitment. Each must earn what they want at the right time with the right effort. So my final thoughts on this is, relationships aren't built on fairness. They are built on understanding, effort, timing, and gatekeeping. If you are on the offensive, it's your move. If you're on the defensive, hold your standards. But don't expect the world to hand you what you haven't worked for. That's the truth. And once you accept it, you stop being confused and start being effective by striving to accept and reciprocate your turn in the sexual dynamics. Okay, that's our quest for today. Please subscribe, like, and share. Someone out there needs to hear this message, maybe someone like you. Let's spread strength and clarity to those navigating this journey. We'll talk more in future episodes. And please let me know your thoughts about this. Thanks for listening, and take care.